થઈ ગયું છે. Good evening to all. Am I audible? Okay. Thank you so much. Should I start?
ભલે કોલ આવે પણ તમારો વાંધો નહીં આવે એ ઉઠાવશું તો બાકી કટ નહીં થાય.
Okay, thank you. Good evening to all. First of all, here I would like to give the introduction of mine. I am Dr. Nilofer Sheikh, Associate Professor and Gynec Consultant at PD Patel Ayurved Hospital, attached with JS Ayurved Mahavidyalay, Nadyad, Gujarat, India. So here on this platform, first of all, I would like to thank Nepal Indo-Nepal Ayurveda Cooperation Campaign for giving this wonderful opportunity to share my views on the needed topic of the hour, that is the clinical aspects of the ovarian cyst in Ayurveda. So here I am going to discuss some common ovarian cysts, those we found in our day-to-day gynecological practice. And these are the multiple small follicles, simple follicular cyst, corpus luteum cyst, hemorrhagic cyst and the chocolate cyst. So this cyst we can diagnose with the help of clinical findings and the use of USG, MRI and the CT scan. In the conventional medical system, the treatment of these cysts are mainly the hormonal treatment that include the combined oral contraceptives, and if the size of the cyst is big, then they advise the surgery. But in Ayurveda, we can term all these cysts as the Bijashaya Granthi, and we can manage all these cysts with the Ayurveda. So first of all, what is this ovarian cyst? So an ovarian cyst is a sac or a pocket which is filled with the fluid, blood or some other tissue, and that is formed into the ovary. And most of these ovarian cysts are benign in nature. As all of you are very much aware about the monthly hormonal changes that we observe in every female during their reproductive age, and due to these hormonal changes, sometimes these functional cysts can arise. And the functional cysts are simple follicular cyst, corpus luteum cyst and the multiple cyst that we can consider it as a PCOS, right? So first here I like to highlight about the management of functional cyst, that is follicular cyst and the corpus luteum cyst. Okay, So the first common cyst that is the follicular cyst. So in a menstruating woman, a Graafian follicle which containing the ovum, and it will rupture during the ovulation. But if the ovulation does not occur, then this Graafian follicle converted into the cyst, and the size of this cyst is greater than 2.5 centimeter. So that is the cause of this development of the follicular cyst. But nowadays, as you all are very aware that there is an increased use of fertility treatment, like use of ovulation induction therapy. So because of this also, it may lead the formation of the follicular cyst. While corpus luteum cyst develop after the ovulation, and the corpus luteum is, what is corpus luteum? It is the remnant follicle after the ovulation, and the corpus luteum normally degrades after 5 to 9 days of the ovulation. But if it fails, then it is and it is more than 3 centimeter, then we can consider it is the corpus luteum cyst. So these both these cysts, like follicular cyst and the corpus luteum cyst, if the size of these cysts are less than 5 centimeter, then we can manage it and we can manage it with Ayurveda, and even sometimes without management it can resolve spontaneously. But if the patient, if the patient of this cyst have any symptoms like dull aching pain within the abdomen or the pelvis, especially during the intercourse, fullness or the heaviness, pressure, swelling or the bloating in the abdomen, then if they have a pain before and after the menses, if a patient has complaint of irregular periods or abnormal uterine bleeding, sometimes spotting bleeding, nausea, fatigue, headache, even changes in the frequency of urination and the bowel movement, because if the size of cysts are big, then they will give some pressure on the bladder and the rectum, and because of this patient might have the trouble in the urination and the defecation. So if the patient are reporting this kind of the symptoms, then we have to treat this simple follicular cyst and the corpus luteum cyst. Otherwise it can resolve spontaneously without any management. Okay, so what can be the possible management of this corpus luteum or the follicular cyst? So if the size is less than 5 centimeter, then with the help of medicines, like without use of Shodhan treatment, we can manage it. So in this condition, we have to advise Varunadi Kwath, Kachnar Guglu and the Gomutra Haritaki. As Kachnar Guglu and Gomutra Haritaki Varunadi Kwath are considered as a drug of choice of Granthi Vikara, and they have a Granthihar and the Vedan properties. So they act on the reproductive system and improve the function of the ovary and the expulsion of Arthav. So here expulsion of Arthav means we have to consider Anta Pushpa, that means ovum, and the Bahir Pushpa means the menses both. So along with this property, Kachnar and Varunadi both have a Lekhaniya property. So it will reduce the size of the cyst, and also it will help to prevent the recurrence of the cyst. So with this medicine, if a patient has the complaint of abdominal pain or the bloating, so we have to add some Vata Anulomak drugs like Ehrenbrust Haritaki And if a patient has the pain, then you can add Sankhvati also. So here one more thing that I like to share, that from my clinical experience, that I noted that we should not use Chitrakadi Vati and the Lasunadi Vati in cases of this cyst, like follicular cyst and the corpus luteum cyst, because they have a Ushna Tikshna property and it can rupture the ovarian cyst. And if the rupture of cyst occur, then the fluid in the ovarian cyst can expel out and it will create the pelvic adhesions. So that's why here we should not use the Chitrakadivati or the Lasunadivati, right? And if the size of the cyst is greater than 5 cm, then here we have to give the Shodhan Chikitsa. So Shodhan Chikitsa, like we can use Vireshan and the Yoga Basti. So what is Yoga Basti? So Yoga Basti, that means the Basti in 8 numbers. Okay. Here we have to give a Niru Basti and the Matra Basti in an alternate day. So if size of cyst is big, then you have to give Vireshan and the Yoga Basti. But yes, you have to inform the patient that here the size of cyst is big. So any time the torsion of cyst or the rupture of cyst may occur, and this condition can lead the emergency. So whenever you are going to treat the patient with the ovarian cyst and the cyst is greater than 5 cm, then you have to give more concern about this. So this is all about the management of functional cyst, that is follicular cyst and the corpus luteum cyst. Now let me talk about the multiple small cyst, that is PCOS in the ovary. So nowadays polycystic ovary disorder is a common problem in the fertile and teenage group also. So what are the causes of PCOS? The causes of PCOD are sedentary lifestyle, lack of exercise, inappropriate dietary habits, stress and the mental disturbance. So according to Ayurveda, all these causes are described in a Visheshan of Kapha and Medha Dhatu. So when we are seeing the pathogenesis of PCOD, we find the increased GnRH, which causing the raised level of FSH and the LH. So here LH FSH ratio will rise. So all these result in hyperandrogenism, which causes the increased insulin resistance, obesity, hormonal imbalance and premature arrest of the maturation of the follicles in the ovaries. And this arrest of the follicle causes the formation of the small cyst. And here the size of cyst is about 7 to 10 mm. So it is a very small cyst. Okay. While we are talking about the ovarian cyst like follicular cyst or corpus luteum cyst, it will greater than 5 cm. But here the size of cyst is less than 1 cm and it is a multiple. So that is the difference between PCOS and some other functional cyst. So also with this development of the multiple cyst, there will be the increased volume of the ovary. And the common symptoms of the PCOS are amenorrhea, weight gain, hirsutism, acne and acanthosis nigrans. So hirsutism means the excessive facial hair growth, and the acanthosis nigrans means the blackish discoloration at the nape of the neck. So these are the symptoms of the PCOS. So during my practice, what I usually do, that I divided the patients of PCOS in two groups. Like one, which have the obesity with PCOS, and second one, who is very lean and thin, and they have the development of PCOS. So the treatment protocol of both patients will vary. Like if the patient is obese and she has the PCOS, then Vaman Karma followed by Yoga Basti, Nasya Karma and the oral medicines like Kashnar, etc. that is advised. Here when the patient is obese, then you have to advise the Vaman, because Vaman is indicated in the Granthi and it is corrects the vitiation of Kapha dosha, Rasa and the Meda Dhatu. So as in PCOD, there is the vitiation of Kapha, Meda and Raja, and mainly Vaman Karma is very much useful to correct the pathology in this Sthula patient. So here, before the Vaman Karma, we have to advise the Snepan, right? And for the Snepan, I like to use Triphala Grith or Kashnar Grith. The use of Kashnar Grith before the Vaman have a fantastic result in cases of PCOS. So after the Vaman, like you have to advise the Vaman, and after the Vaman, Yoga Basti should be given. So in the whenever I advise the Yoga Basti, I use the Dashmul Kvath for the Niru Basti and Narayan Tel for the Matra Basti. So that is to be advised along with the Shat Pushpa Tel Nasya. So Sat Pushpa Tel in a dose of 6 drops in each nostril should be given for the 7 days. This is all about the Sodhan Chikitsa. And in Shaman Chikitsa, the oral medicaments like Kashnar Guglu, Varunadi Kvath, and if a patient has the amenorrhea, like in PCOS, the development of amenorrhea means the absence of menses is there. So in this condition, you have to add Dashmul Kvath, Hingvastak Churna, because here we have to do the Anuloman of Apan Vayu, because Apan Vayu is the responsible for expulsion of the menses. So that's why I advise these Dashmul Kvath and Hingvastak Churna in case in the symptom of amenorrhea. And here the patient is obese. So to reduce the Meda, I suggested Arogya Vardhini, Gomutra Haritaki, which has the Lekhanya property and dissolve the excess amount of Meda. And if a patient has the insulin resistance, so that we can observe with the development of excessive facial hair growth. So in case of insulin resistance, one should advise the Mamenja Kanvati to in cases of PCOS. And these whole protocols like the oral medicaments should be given for 3 months. And as we all are very aware that the PCOS is the lifestyle disorders, right? So to maintain the healthy lifestyle is also essential to prevent the recurrence as well as to cure the disease. So here we have to advise the patient not to take junk food, fast food, cold drinks, cold water, stress and the night awakening. So why night awakening? Because the secretion of GnRH takes place during the night. So if a patient has a habit of night awakening, then it will alter the secretion of GnRH. And because of this altered secretion of GnRH, the level of LH and FSH will disturb. So that's why you have to advise the patient to avoid the night awakening. And instead of this, patient is advised to take lukewarm water, moong soup, use of garlic, that is lasun, and do the Surya Namaskar. So with this modification of lifestyle and the oral medicaments, we can treat the condition of PCOS in obese patient. While on the other hand, if patient is lean and thin, then we have to omit the Vaman karma. We should not advise the Vaman karma, and instead of Vaman karma, we can advise the Virechan karma and the Shatpushpa Tel Matra Basti. Okay. So here in a lean and thin patient, we should not advise Vaman. Instead of that, we can give the Virechan and the Shatpushpa Tel Matra Basti. So here we have to choose the drugs according to the Prakruti and the condition of the patient and Sattva of the patient. So here it is all about the management of PCOS according to Ayurveda. Now coming to hemorrhagic cyst. Okay. So what is hemorrhagic cyst and why it occurs? So about 7% of women have an ovarian cyst at some point in their life, and out of that 13.7% are said to be hemorrhagic ovarian cyst, and it occurs because the granulosa layer of the ovary remains avascular until the ovulation, but after the ovulation this granulosa layer quickly becomes vascularized by thin walled vessels, and these vessels can rupture easily, and because of this rupture of the vessels, there will be bleeding into the ovarian cyst, and that is termed as the hemorrhagic cyst. So in the condition of hemorrhagic cyst, patient may present the sudden onset of pelvic pain, pelvic mass, and sometimes it may be asymptomatic, and we can find it during the routine investigation of the USC. But whenever the rupture of this cyst occurs, then it is the emergency condition. Okay, it can lead the acute abdominal pain, and it is occurring the premenopausal woman, and it lead the emergency. So according to Ayurveda, it can be considered it as a Vata Rakta Granthi, and treatment protocol of this hemorrhagic cyst can be use of Kashnar Guglu, Varunadiquat. Of course, these two drugs are very useful in every kind of the ovarian cyst, either it is PCOS, follicular cyst, or corpus luteum cyst, or hemorrhagic cyst. But in cases of hemorrhagic cyst, I suggest the Punarnavaquat also, because it has the anti-inflammatory and the Shothagna properties. Along with Punarnavaquat, Chandraprabhavati, Gomutra Haritaki, and of course there is the involvement of Pitta and Rakta dosha in hemorrhagic cyst. So here we have to give the Pitta Virechak drugs, and for that I suggest Avipattikar Churna. So Avipattikar Churna is also beneficial in this condition. Here we have to advise the patient not to use so much salty and sour food. And here garlic, use of garlic, that means use of lasun is also apathya. So remember, while I am talking about the treatment protocol of PCOS, I told that use of garlic is pathya. Okay. So in cases of PCOS, you can advise the use of lasun, but in cases of hemorrhagic cyst, it is apathya. So it is a contraindicated in case of hemorrhagic cyst. And coming to the last common ovarian cyst, that is the chocolate cyst or the ovarian endometrioma. So nowadays the cases of chocolate cyst are also arise. And what is this chocolate cyst or ovarian endometrioma? So here chocolate cysts are the non-cancerous fluid-filled cyst, and that found typically in the deep into the ovary, and it is termed as the chocolate cyst because the color of the material in the cyst is brown, tar-like appearance, and it is like a melted chocolate. So that's why it is termed as the chocolate cyst. And basically it is developed due to endometriosis. So what is endometriosis? Whenever the development of the endometrial tissue occur into the surface of the ovary, then it is termed as the endometriosis. And it starts, means endometriosis starts at the ovarian surface because of the retrograde menstruation. Okay. So whenever the development of endometrium is occur on the surface of the ovary, endometrium is very responsive of the hormones. So it will periodically shedding and bleeding will be there in the endometrium, and because of this bleeding the development of chocolate cyst will occur. And whenever the leakage or the rupture of this cyst occur, then blood or the brown color material will expel from this cyst, and it will create the pelvic adhesions also. So in Ayurveda we can consider it as a Rakta Granthi, and if we see the pathology of the development of chocolate cyst, so I told that it is due to retrograde menstruation. So what is retrograde menstruation? When the menstrual flow is retrograded, and it will the normal flow of the menses is from above to downwards, but in retrograde menstruation the menstrual blood along with the endometrial tissue go upwards, pass through the fallopian tube, and the piece of the endometrium can stick on the surface of the ovary, and then after the development of chocolate cyst occur. So the possible mechanism of this retrograde menstruation is if one can advise to do hysterosalpingiography during the menses. Second, if obstetricians do the pelvic examination vigorously during the menses. If a patient has the history of coitus during the menstruation, like in our Samhita also, Acharya contraindicated the vyavai, that is this sexual coitus during the menses, because it can lead the retrograde menstruation, or here what I can consider it as the apan vata vimarga gaman. So because of this apan vayu vimarga gaman can occur, and because of this apan vata vimarga gaman the development of the chocolate cyst can be. So here when we are talking about the chocolate cyst, the size of this cyst can be 5 to 6 centimeter, and we can manage this is the size of 5 to 6 centimeter. If the size of cyst is big, like greater than 6 centimeter, then we have to advise the CA-125 also. So CA-125 is a biomarker to detect the malignancy into the ovary. But when the size is big, then only you have to advise the CA-125, and with this we can assess the risk of the development of the cancer or ovarian malignancy in case of the chocolate cyst. But if the size of chocolate cyst is less than 5 to 6 centimeter, then we can manage it with the help of Ayurveda. So what I usually do, or I treated the patient of chocolate cyst with the Vireshan Karma and the Madhu Tailik Basti. So here the Madhu Tailik Basti is very much important along with these oral medicines also. So before the Vireshan, for the Snepan, again I prefer the use of Kashna Grita. Kashna Grita for Snepan, and after the Snepan, Abhyang Svedan and Vireshan is suggested. So after Vireshan, I give the Madhu Tailik Basti for 10 days. So the ingredients of this Madhu Tailik Basti are the iron mulkwat in a dose of 150 ml, Madhu in a dose of 50 ml, Til Tela 50 ml, Saindav 15 gram, and the Sat Pushpakal, that is about 25 gram. So this is the ingredients of Madhu Tailik Basti. So along with this Basti, in the oral medicines, one can give the Punarnava Kwathar, Varunadi Kwathar, Gomutra Haritaki, Chandra Prabhavati, Panch Tikta Grit, and the Kashnar Gugulu. And all these treatments should be given for 3 months. And according to me, with this treatment protocol, most of the patient can cure from this chocolate cyst. Yes, but of course, whenever we are treating this kind of the cyst, but to prevent the recurrence, the Pathya Palan is must. Then you have to advise some dietary regimen along with vihar, that means what to do and what should not to do to the patient to prevent the recurrence of this cyst. So the management of all these cysts like follicular cyst, corpus luteum cyst, or PCOS, hemorrhagic cyst, or the chocolate cyst, that depends upon the age of the patient, the size of the cyst, the severity of the symptoms, the desire of the fertility, and the result of the previous therapy. Like we have to take in consideration all above factors while we are going to treat this kind of cyst. And of course we can manage this cyst very effectively with the help of Ayurveda. So with this note here, I would like to conclude my session, and once again here I like to thank Indo-Nepal Ayurveda Cooperation for inviting me and giving such a wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much.